transformations. Okay. So in our yesterday examples, we have done two things. Data lake to data lake we have copied. So one data lake file source as source. So please go to the room and someone is ask them to view that. And data lake, one more thing is a scene. Of course, between them as initial practice, we did not do any transformations. And same thing after that, as part of second example, we have taken data lake as source and Azure SQL table as a sink. But at the time of loading data, what kind of errors you will get, how to solve them, we have discussed. Okay. So it was our yesterday session. Today, about remaining transformations, we will take overview today. What is the purpose of each transformation? There is resource groups. So this is our regular resource group. I'm starting ADF instance. Starting portal now. It's not portal, it's studio, ADF studio. So going to the author symbol, directly you can define data flows from here. You can save data flows permanently. These data flows as activities you can include into the pipelines. Okay. Or else right away while creating pipelines, you can drag data flow activity. I'm saying new pipeline. Let me give data flow sample. Under move and transform category, your data flow is available. In the settings, you can create actual data flows. This is the activity name. Okay, this is the activity name. Under this, you have to create your data flow. It is asking you data flow. Already you have two data flows. Yesterday you have created two data flows. Data flow 1, data flow 2. If you want to create, go for a new. So always the first transformation should be source. If you want to configure any source, just click on this. Okay. For example, some other data set I am configuring here. Any data set that you can configure. I am going for this one. Same yesterday data set I have used here. Okay, before proceeding with this, test the connection. But to test the connection, you have to activate debug mode here. Okay, it may take time. So our intention is not to that one. So what are all other transformations? Whenever after source, if you want to configure other transformations, click on this plus symbol and you will see what transformations are available. Okay. So today, the few transformations we will discuss. About these transformations in coming 1 or 2 classes, we will finish the practical part. After that, remaining transformation, I will come back. Okay. See here, I'm going to touch this union transformation. First, I'm going to start with union transformation. If it is union, the purpose of this one is to combine data, to combine or to match multiple data sets. So basically, as per SQL, you have two things: union and union all. So union means it does not allow duplicates. That means no duplicates. Whereas unional, it allows duplicates. Okay. So at the time of, so what is the working style you just observe? What are the important parameters under this union? You just check it. I just selected union transformation. Within this, output stream and incoming stream. Output stream means output of one particular transformation is called a stream. So for this output, so for this union, the input is output of source. That is called input stream. Got it? Come back to union. So here, incoming stream. Incoming stream means input for your union. That is source one already selected. So after this output, the output is union one. This output can be configured with sync transformation. I'm talking about sync like this. Got it? If it is union, again, the problem is this one. If it is union, union is what is the purpose of union? To combine multiple data sets. But here you have only one data set. One more data set you want to configure? Just add source. This is source 2. Got the point? Within the union, you can configure that. Got it? Union with what data set? Here it is asking you union with what data set. Here you have to select source 2. Source 1 is prime. That is union with source 2. Got it? Now if I run the pipeline within this union, the merging activity will be done. Both the things will be written into sync. Whatever the target, that may be SQL table, that may be Synapse table, or it may be data lake file. Got it? So remaining options will be there at the time of loading only. You can choose whether you want duplicates or not duplicates and all these things. So finally, the purpose of this union transformation is to combine or to merge data sets. Got it? But the problem, the possible errors, what you will get is if the target table is having a primary key or any index key. Sometimes, so first you tell me the difference between primary key and index key. Index key also will be having unique values. When to use primary key, when to use index key, when DBS will be creating only index object for a particular key. Online team, please answer. This clarity is important because you are going to be a data engineer, means data related fundamentals you should know. So Prashant answered here, index will speed up the data retrieval. Definitely. But remember, Prashant, index keys are 2 types. Index objects are 2 types basically. Basically 2 types. Again, subcategories will be there. Unique index, non-unique index. Unique index and non-unique index. Unique index means, if I create an index object for a particular column, within that column, duplicates are not allowed. That means only unique values. Suppose employee ID, my ID should not be for you, for other record. Got it? So within that, in a master data, I will create that employee ID as a index key. But what is the importance of a non-unique index key? For example, first record is Hyderabad, second record from Delhi, third record from Pune, next record is again from Hyderabad, next record is from Pune. In this way, there are a lot of records. Think that this is our table. Now your query is select star from our table. Let's say table name is tab 1. There is a column city where city is equals to Hyderabad. Now, if I have 1 lakh rows here, if I have 1 lakh rows here, how many readings should happen? Okay, first answer me. I have 1 lakh rows, but Hyderabad rows are only 1,000 rows. Hyderabad rows are only 1,000 rows. Okay, my query is this one. Select star from tab 1. In the second query, how many queries I am asking, sir? In the second query, how many records I am asking? All the 1 lakh rows I am asking. In the first query, I am asking only 1,000 rows. Which query is faster among these two? Second query is super faster because there are no filters. Just read, display, read, display, read, 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 read. At the time of reading, there is no conditional check for the second query. That's why that is super fast. But whenever you want to ask some subset of these rows, it is reading first record, checking the condition, validating the condition. If true, if it is evaluated to true, then only it is giving. After completion of that, again second record, but second record is Delhi, condition is not evaluated. Then it is going on for that one. So in this case, if you go for non-unique index, again within this non-unique index, whether it is clustered or non-clustered, in this way different types will be there. Okay, in general high level I am talking. If it is a non-unique index, if I create one non-unique index based on the city, okay, if I create a non-unique index object based on the city, what will happen is all Hyderabad rows will be clustered at one spot. All Delhi rows will be clustered at one spot. All Pune records will be spotted at one spot. Now, in this moment, if I query like this, what will happen? It need not to check with all the clusters. That means it need not to check with all the blocks of your file in the backend. Why I am touching the concept of file again here, whenever I am working with table? Remember, table means is just a logical structure. In fact, table doesn't have any data. Table is just a structure, that's it. But a table backend. What is table backend, Prasad? Table space. As per database, that is table space. As per operating system, every table space is a file. That means without file, finally, there is no storage at all. But within the file, there will be a blocks. Generally, in SQL Server, the block size is 4 KB. Understand? If I go with the clustered, all Hyderabad records will be into one block. All Delhi records will be into another block. All Pune records will be into other block. On that way, the database will maintain metadata for all these blocks within the index. Now, in this moment, if I query select star from your table, select star from your table where city is equal to Hyderabad, if I say like this, okay, it need not to read all the blocks. In which records Hyderabad is available, it reads only those blocks. On that way, you can improvise performance. Understand the point, sir? Okay. Now here, one thing, my question, possible errors you will be getting for this index is one of the reason. Then what is primary key then? If I don't want duplicates in one particular column, I will go with index key. But why primary key again? Any database people here, please answer. I think Lakshmi Narayana. If I have index object, one minute, Ceci. If I have index object, then why I need? Arey man, Lakshmi Narayana, you said not null plus unique. Primary key is not null plus unique. I don't agree this answer. These two are eligibilities for a primary key. But in your Oracle, you are not setting separately, not null, separately unique. Whenever you create one column as a primary key, automatically these two eligibilities will be set. automatically not null behavior is coming into that column, unique behavior is coming into that column. But primary key purpose is not this one. Whenever one table is going to have a relationship with the other table, then only you need primary key. If I have only single table, I don't need primary key. Whenever my table wants to get a relationship with other table, by using primary key and foreign key constraints, the relationship will be set. Understand the points? So in this way, if you, whenever you are, especially come back to our yesterday's second task. Yesterday's second task. What was that? We have loaded our data. Azure SQL to Azure, data lake to Azure SQL table. If it is table, the target table, definitely that DBA is different. Your Azure admin is different. You are just a developer. That table might have different constraints, like a not null. Okay, especially your. I'm going to talk about this union all transformation. Union all transformation. I'm saying that union all means it is allowing duplicates. Suppose 101 record is repeated for 2 times. That is going to be set into target table, but target table has unique property. At the time, your load will be failed or not. The load will be failed. Understand? If they have certain index which is non-unique index object, that is not a problem. Got it? So this is one issue you need to remember. And second issue, what issue you will be getting with the non-unique index object? If the table target table has this property, okay, what is the problem you are getting? Sir, online team, till now the discussion is okay. All these are the runtime issues, sir. Any questions you please ask me. If you are okay, say yes. The problem with unique index, unique property. Duplicates, load will be failed. This is one point. Again, the problem with not null. Already we have discussed about this. If any field of input source is null, again the load will be failed. Okay. Now the problem with non-unique, that means you can treat it as a clustered index objects. Any guessing from this? Non-unique object means what? It allows duplicates or not? It allows, because example city. You are from Hyderabad, I am from Hyderabad, next person is from Hyderabad. Any guessings from online team, please try to say. Prashant? Not block error. Narayana, your answer block error, not block error. Because all Hyderabad records will be going to one block, Delhi records will be going into another block. No chance of block errors. Only one problem.
If in the database will throw the error.
No. Why it needs? Suppose I am loading data. Suppose a city is non-unique index column.
Okay.
How many cities I loaded? Based on the city, based on the uniqueness of the city, that particular city will be distributed to other different block. The problem with this one is, remember, loading time
if there is large amount of data, you need to drop and recreate index during loading.
Too much loading time. Got it. Why it is taking too much time? Suppose if the table, the target table is not having any constraint, directly as easily that will be inserted. Okay. So whenever it has one unique index property, first of all, it has to check every time, it has to check index object metadata. All the block addresses will be maintained by the index object. If I load one Hyderabad record, first of all, it has to contact index object at which address the block is placed. Into that, it has to write the record. The loading is not sequential. Again, in which block the record is loaded, again, it has to register that address in the index object. Suppose previously the time is like, suppose for 1 terabyte of load, the time is taking 24 hours. That too, if the target table is having 10 non-unique index columns. At the time may be not 24 hours, the time may be even 3 days also. Understood my point here. Now client is forcing you. Please reduce this time. Only one chance you have. Put a request. Temporarily disable index features. Temporarily disable index features. Then load it. Now your time will be 3 hours only. After that, DBA will run reorg process and rebuild the cluster, rebuild indexes. There is a process called rebuilding indexes. What DBS will be regularly doing that. Understand the point?
Run statistics.
So with the coordination of these two teams, your loading improvement can be done. Only ADF developer cannot always improve the performance. From his side, like how much of optimization that he can do that one. But at the same time, there should be some support and coordination from database administrators. Okay, later in just what is the reorganization, what is rebuilding indexes, later you just verify. These are the regular processes what DBS is. But at least you have to suggest to improve this performance to that people. Otherwise, your client is feeling because of my ADF developer only the time is delaying like 24 hours of the 3 days. Understand the point, sir? So all these are the things you need to consider while loading bulk volumes of data. That too, here you are not talking about only 1 terabyte because you are going to apply the such kind of files will be multiple, right? Such kind of files will be multiple. File 1 terabyte of data, file 2 terabyte of data, but you want to merge them at the time, the loading time will be much. Understood?
Like, do we have any performance improvement options in Data Factory, like increasing the number of nodes or something like that?
Yes. So for this number of nodes, you need to in our flow, in our pipeline, you can prepare one Databricks job. That Databricks job you can bring as one of the activity in your pipeline. But in the Databricks job, how many number of parallel processes that you need, you can select. Only your choice, as a ADF developer, your choice is improvise the number of parallel processes. But still, if DBA is not supportable to you, you cannot fully optimize this one. Got it? So such kind of things you need to consider. Only one point will not improvise completely your performance. Okay. But whenever you are going for more performance, definitely the price will be increased. You have to remember that one also. Okay. Yeah. Okay, come back to this one, sir. Next transformation. What are all the other transformations available? This union, the union considerations are this one. Okay, let me cancel this. In the coming class, we will see all the practicals of it. I'm going for one more transformation. Let's talk about conditional split. The next transformation is conditional split. This is just a transformation within the data flow. In core activities, you have one conditional split operator. What is that? In core activities, you have two things for this conditional split. Option number one, if condition activity. Option number two, using filter also you can, but you have to use multiple filters. But if condition activity is faster, instead of triggering multiple filter activities. Already you have seen the practicals of both the things. In the first example, by taking two filters, we have done this, and in the next example, with one just if condition, we have done this. So here conditional split means all matching records into one particular table. For example, all records created before 2021 into history table. All records created after or equal 2021 into the recent analytics table. Got it. So you can plan a condition. That means here, how many sources here in this example? Source one. For the source one, you are attaching conditional split transformation. Within that split transformation, you are giving your own condition. If it is the thing, you have two options. If condition is true, then load into table one. Let's say tab one. If condition false, that is into tab two. But directly tab one, tab two. What are these things? Physical tables. For the physical tables, you will be creating data sets. But these data sets should be configured as sync. Sync one, sync two. In the beginning class of yesterday about transformations, I tell you multiple syncs can be configured. Multiple sources can be configured. Now totally how many transformations are involving here? One source, one conditional split, sync one, sync two, totally 4 transformations. Understood this? Now a small just give me high level of that data flow. My task is I have sales 1, sales 2, sales 3 files, or sales 2, let's take only 2 files. Sales 1, sales 2 files in data flow. Not data flow, data lake. Maybe Gen 1 or maybe Gen 2 or maybe other source. Got it? So this is related with the branch 1. This is branch 2. I have one branch at USA, one branch at India. Okay, separate transfer, separate tables I am using. Why I am using separate tables is, if I have multiple branches, why I am using separate tables, the meaning is the branch 1 rules are different, the branch 2 rules are different. Definitely attributes will be different, here attributes will be different. Price will be different, here price will be different. That's why I am going for multiple. The business organization, even though single organization, going for 2 different tables. That is the case. Now, first of all, you have to what I want to distribute the data into two things. Table 1 and table 2. This is a small scenario. Please tell me the flow. How will be the flow? Flow shape only, high level flow shape. Let me go for the paint. I have a source 1, source 2. It doesn't matter how many number of sources are there. Source 1, source 2. After that, what I do is, no, I will apply union. Understood? Union. If I apply union, what will happen? It has 1 lakh rows, it has 1 lakh rows, 2 lakhs will be measured, right? For this, I will apply one more thing. Conditional split transformation. Conditional split transformation has two things: true, false. In the case of true, I will configure sync 1. Here, sync 2. Totally. Now this entire thing is your data flow. Now you please check it. Understood? Okay. This is case number 1. Case 1 is taking, let's say, 5 hours. Okay, DBA is fully supportive. What are the things you asked? Immediately he is provisioning you. Okay, with that optimized of that DBA help, you have loaded all these things into 5 hours. Now, small task for you. This is case number 1. The time taken is 5 hours. I want to improvise this. I want to improve the performance of it. Forget about cost. I want to reduce that time. Your client is ready to pay. Okay, with more number of nodes only, that is the time.
So there we are using union, so there is not allowed.
Not like that. Always remember, causes high latency. Always. It causes high latency always. Got it? That's why I like a simple technique. So our online team, get ready for this. Remember this same picture? I'm going for a new screen. Separately create data flows, sir. Separately create data flows. Go for data flows. Separately create data flows. Where we are, yeah. Let's say data X, data flow X. Data flow Y. Okay. Treat this as a separate data flow. Treat this one as a separate data flow. Got it? Source 1. Here, source 2. That means here one file and here one file. What I mean is, here instead of going for conditional split, always I have 2 target tables, right? Okay, go for conditional split without going for union. Conditional split. The conditional split is targeting sync 1, which is table 1, sync 2, which is table 2. Think that all recent data into sync 1, all old data into sync 2. Same thing here. Conditional split. Here sync 1, sync 2. Let me map it. The same thing here. The same thing here. Now, this is not pipeline, just a data. We have created only data flow. You not yet created pipeline. Data flow, why? Is a data flow, not a pipeline. Two separate pipelines. Got it. Now, create a pipeline. Create a pipeline. New pipeline. That's a demo sample. I'm taking data flow. I'm taking second data flow. But don't connect these two things. If you connect, what will happen? One after one will be executed. If you don't connect, parallelly will be executed. Understand the point, sir? If you don't connect, these two flows will be parallel executed. So for this, you just configure here data flow. In the place of data flow, select data flow X. For the second one, select data flow Y. But don't connect both. If you connect, one after one will be executed. Got it? Now, these two things will be parallelly run. Understand the points? On that way, from your side, if DBA has optimized complete the things, still the process is taking slow. Okay, the previous work you can redesign in this way. Create two separate data flows. Keep these separate data flows as activities in the pipeline, but make them parallel. Make them parallel, not as sequence.
So if the tables are both are tables, the sinks are both are tables. If you're doing it parallelly, wouldn't you run into deadlock or performance issues at the table level if the table size are good enough, big enough?
Yeah, definitely the issue will come because when our two transactions are working with single record, okay, such kind of conflicts will be coming over there. So previously the same work is happening, now the same work is happening because one single table is going to allow you multiple synchronization of with other multiple transactions, right? If the capacity of your target database is high, then this is good. Because I am withdrawing money, you are withdrawing money, someone is depositing money, but indirectly all the users are working with a single table only. Understand the point, sir? That too here, generally, we will be loading our data into the target Synapse tables. Whenever you are working with Synapse tables, so Synapse tables are not being accessed by the online users, online end users. Only your ETL workloads and analytical workloads will be using Synapse data. Obviously, if your warehouse is Synapse is having high capacity when compared with regular databases, similar to the Teradata kind of databases. Understood, sir, for our question. So finally, what I'm saying is, if your target warehouse is completely ready with optimized setup, from ADF developer side, what you can do for such kind of issues? If you feel that the merging activity is taking too much of time, then separate it. Got it. So in this way, you can plan it, sir. And one more activity we will be discussing today.
Sir, in case of parallel processing, there are two clusters running, right?
Yes. Based on the activities, automatically Azure will allocate you the number of nodes in our cluster. Single cluster, But single cluster, the nodes will be improved because it is a single pipeline.
Okay.
Understood? Because Azure is promising you one thing, auto scaling. Based on the workloads, automatically
So
the
you're
number of
saying that-
nodes will be allocated to you
So if there is single pipeline, you're saying it will be running only on single
on
cluster.
single cluster.
Is there any mechanism or like configuration where we can upgrade this? Cluster
For that, you have to
mechanism?
write your own Databricks jobs.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if you are writing data flows, the Databricks cluster is not under your control. But if you are writing your own Databricks jobs, that you can control. You can control like not number of nodes. Admins will be configuring the cluster size. For that auto scaling, they will be provisioning. But as a developer, you can improvise number of parallel processes. A small statement, I will show you one thing. If I'm a pure, what you call, Databricks developer. Let's say I'm working with HDFS data. My input is HDFS file, which is Hadoop file. Same Hadoop in Microsoft Azure, what is that? Wait. Same Hadoop in our Microsoft, what is that? HD Insights. Okay. Okay. In my job, I'm going to read my data is equal to sc.text file. Text file or Parquet file, whatever it may be. Okay. Text file or Parquet file. Text file of some file name. Suppose the file path I am giving, just only file name I am saying .txt. This file is having 100 partitions, 100 blocks. Now, during runtime, the partitions will be loaded into the Spark cluster. For one block, one partition, default nature. So that when you run a job, when you do some process on the data, how many parallel process will happen? I have 100 blocks. Spark is loading you 100 partitions. Now, how many parallel process? 100 parallel process. Right? 100 parallel process will be engaged. Okay. Instead of doing that, I'm going to, as a developer, I'm going to do some small modification. sc.text file, sales.txt, comma 10. Each block, how many blocks I have for that file? 100 blocks. Each block is divided into 10 partitions in the runtime. Each block is divided into 10 partitions. Total, how many partitions now? 1000 partitions. 1000 parallel process will happen. Of course, the charge for this one is different. The charge for this one is different. Okay, like this. On that way, developer can customize number of parallel processes, but developer cannot improvise the number of nodes. Understand? The Databricks admin will be manipulating those cluster sizes. Got it? On that way, everything is not under your control. Okay. Okay, sir. Let's discuss. Yes, sir.
Sir, one more question.
Yeah, please.
Can we set priority while loading two different sources like data flow wise? Like if I want to load second table as first and then the first second data flow, is that like something in our control?
No. No, you cannot. You cannot set the priority like that. If there are two parallel activities, the priority is equal for all the things. Okay? You cannot control it. Yeah, one more last discussion. Let me check the transformations. I'm going for one. Select anything. Opening this. The sync I am cutting off. Here simply I am saying that plus Let's go for exists. I have data set number 1. Daily I am maintaining what's attendance. Yesterday and what's I am maintaining attendance. Today also attendance is recorded. Suppose yesterday attendance 1. I have Ravi, Rajesh, Rakesh, Ramesh. These are the 4 attendances. Today class, think that the file is attendance 2. Ravi, Rakesh, Ratan, Rohan. Ratan, Rohan. Now how many input files I have? Think that. Of course, it is a small file, no need to use Azure Cloud. Okay. But daily I am maintaining attendance. The course is going for 6 months. Such kind of batches are 100. This is only for one trainer. Such kind of trainers are 100. Then overall all the data is a big volume or not? Okay. So not high level analytics, only I want a small comparison between yesterday and today. Think that volume is bigger or smaller, forget about it. Now I have question. Who attend only yesterday, sir? Who attend only yesterday? Forget about only. Who attend yesterday? What is your answer? Select star from attendance 1. Who attend today means select star from attendance 2. Got it? Now, who attend yesterday? Those people who continue today, I want. Who are the persons who attended yesterday and who continue today also? Just by seeing this data, you can answer. Ravi and Rakesh. Because Rajesh and Ramesh have attended yesterday, but not today. In that case, so for my question, who attended both days? My question meaning is that one, right? Who attended both days? What is your answer? Source 1. Source 1 is attendance 1. Exists with source 2. Understand? Now it will give me Ravi and Rakesh. My question. Who attended yesterday? Who not attended yesterday? But attended today. Who are the persons? Look at Ratan and Rohan. They did not attend yesterday, but today only first class to them attended today. So the question meaning, if you generalize it, who not exists in first data set. That means how you can configure source 1 not exists with source 2. Understood? I am repeating. Who attended first day? Not attended second day. Reverse it. Source 2 not exists with source 1. Clear? Just you reverse it. What is the reply of this one? Look at the data. Who attended first day? Here data is typed. Who attended first day, but not attended second day? Who are the persons? Rajesh. Okay, let me check the data. Rajesh and Ramesh. That will be that. Got it? So in our basic 9th class mathematics, we have done something about this set theory in set mathematics. For the first question, who attended both? Simply applied intersection. Attendance 1, second circle is attendance 2. Who attended both means this one. Here what you applied? A exists with B. Come to my second question. Come to the second question. Who not attended yesterday? Who attended only today? That means the persons who are available only in the second data set. For this, your answer, your graphical shape will be like this. Understood? So technically what you can say? A not exists with B. If you reverse it, the first part. For third question, your answer is like this. Let me go with this. It is filling. I want only this. At the time, your answer is, your query should be reverse it. B not exist with A. Got it? So on that way, within the exits, in the union, how you have union and union all within the exists, not exists. Got the point? So all these are the different transformations without writing any complex logics or complex codes. You can configure all these things. Okay. So tomorrow onwards, first we will finish the practical part of all these things. Okay. So next we come to the remaining transformations. Okay, sir. All of you. Let's meet tomorrow. The same link.
Sir, one more thing. Can you upload those recordings of previous sessions?
Yes. You just ping me in WhatsApp. Ping me over Rakesh WhatsApp.
Okay.
Already you are in group. Once again, just ping me. The old records also I will send.
Yeah.
So correct. Yeah. Okay, all of you. Let's see tomorrow. So today date is what, sir?
22.
22. Okay. 23rd, 24th. Okay, on 25th day call. 25th, which day name is? Saturday. Okay, Saturday regular holiday for us. No problem. Okay. Okay, sir. Let's see.